And now, Saturday training at the Alonzos.
Class, we're about to start. Please take out your books and turn to page 1. This company was started by Arthur Williams.
Wait a minute, this isn't how we do Saturday training. This is Saturday training at the Alonzos. Let's do it now.
Agent, stand up, all you newly licensed. So proud of you guys. All right, I'm gonna talk to you about the keys to winning in Primerica, the keys to getting this thing done in Primerica. Number one, and we all know you know how to do it because you're here right now. What's number one, huh? What's number one? Show up. You gotta show up. You gotta be here. You gotta let the world know that you're open for shop. You know what I mean? It's like if you owned a 7-Eleven. You got to open up the 7-Eleven, right? You got to show up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you got to make sure that the truckers have coffee, right? So you got to make sure that you're in business for yourself. You can't say, well, my tummy aches, right? Well, what if your tummy hurts and you have a 7-Eleven? Do you have to still go open up and do the coffee? Right? You got to pop some Tums, some Pepsid, something like that, and you get your butt in that car and you drive down and you make it happen, right? It's not always easy being a business owner, but do you want to be a successful business owner or a failure business owner, huh? You want to be successful, and we're going to make sure that you're successful, but you got to meet us halfway. You got to make sure you show up and do your part to getting this thing going. The second thing that you got to do as you build your Primerica business is you got to make sure that you bring people. All right? So you never want to get in your car all by yourself. You never want to be driving down to the office all by yourself. You want to make sure that you are, every single time you get in that car, you got somebody sitting right next to you. And you're going down to that office. Why are you going down to that office? Because you're going to put them in front of your RVP. And you're going to allow your RVP to recruit those people for you. All right, that's our job. You bring them here, our job is to get them in. Our job is to get them going. Our job is to make sure that we build your business successfully. But you got to do your part and bring the dang people here. Is that a deal? So the first step is for you to, number one, you got to show up, but you also got to bring people, make sure that you're following that game plan. The next thing you got to do is you got to set up appointments. If you ain't got any appointments, what good is Primerica, man? Right? The business is no good if you ain't got nobody to see, right? Okay, so your job is to make sure that before you put your head to the pillow on Sunday night, you make sure that you get a lot of people, okay? A lot of people booked out with appointments with you. Is that a deal? Yes or yes? And remember, a lot of your appointments are coming from you training your new recruits. A lot of people get scared. They say, man, I'm going to run out of people to go see. You ain't going to run out of people to go see. You're going to have a lot of people to go see because you're going to be training all of those people that you're recruiting by bringing them to the meetings. Does that make sense? All right, and then, of course, recruiting across the kitchen table, and you're going to get a lot of recruits. And remember, you're going to recruit for your recruits, and you have to train those recruits and those recruits and those recruits.
Because we grow our biz big event to big event. You guys get that, right? Yeah. So the first thing is you got to have a goal. How many teammates will you attend? Will you have attend the convention? How many? Have a goal, right? Have a big vision so that others can fit in your vision. Make sure it's a big goal. Now, if I told you that for every person that you got to go to the convention, you were going to make $1,000. For every person that you got to go to the convention, you were going to make $1,000. How much energy and effort would you invest? A lot more maybe than you're doing now. So what's it going to take? Commitment? Anybody committed? Yeah. You got to be the first. Right? You should have been the first to buy those gala tickets. You should have been the first to register for the convention and get your airfare and make sure you got hotels, not just for you, but a book of hotels for all the people you're going to take. You got to be the first committed. And then you have to, and you show it by being the first to doing all these things. You have to have a big vision. Anybody have a big vision? Yes. See, what's your vision? Here's my vision. My vision is 200 minimum people at the convention, so we can double our income in 2017. That's my vision. What's your vision, right? And then you need to have a game plan. What's the game plan, right? I think the game plan for us is, right, I mean, you know, with the help of Kevin, who's always been, you know, and the Roys, they've always been great with us. They work on the airfare. We get a batch. We're going to get, you know, which means we got to have 200 people. We got to get some airfare for 200 people. But we're going to get that lined up. We're going to start putting some payments in place. We're going to start saving some money to make sure that we hit the goal. That we don't just have the vision, but we have a game plan. We go attack it. Anybody with me? Yeah. It takes energy, focus, urgency, competition. What do I mean by competition, right? Isabel and Hansel, how many people are you guys going to have at the convention? 20. They're going to have 20 people at the convention, right? Johan and Alexander, how many people are you guys going to have at the convention? 25. Now, you're not going to let them beat you. They're going to have 25. You guys only have 20. Is that possible? We're going to have 30. Oh, they're going to have 30. You guys know that Isabel and Hansel are going to have 30 people at that convention. You're not going to let them do that, right? You guys have bigger goals than they do in 2007. You see the competition I'm talking about? You can't do that unless you're totally committed and you start selling it out. And then you got to be repetitive over and over and over again. Why should I attend the convention? You think you're going to get that question? So I'm going to talk to everybody in this room that has not committed. Me and you are having a personal one-on-one conversation like you're going to have over and over. Between now and June, how many people are we going to recruit in this hierarchy? Like over 1,000. How many of those thousands are going to be there with us in Indy? Well, you better make sure you know how to answer the question, why should I go to the convention? Here's a few reasons, right? We will receive the information we need to change our lives. Who wants that information? We will have time. We will have the time of our life. Anybody like to have fun? Yeah. Fun, 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 like you never had before. We will get to meet and build relationships with awesome people. The greatest leaders in Primerica will be there. We will make a life-changing decision. We will come back and be a changed person, focused like never before. Who wants to do that? So that you get to accomplish your 017 goals. We will be inspired by all the amazing success stories. We will come back and change many lives, starting with our own. We will create a dream life for you and our families. Let's go and change our lives together. Now, is that the talk you're going to have with somebody when they ask you, why should I go to the convention? Now, you probably have a bunch more you can add to it. But you need to make sure when somebody says, why should I go to the convention, that you have a passionate reason why you're going and why they should too.
There's no substitute for hard work in this business, right? It's not about how talented you are. It's not about what you know or who you know, right? But it's how many calls you make. It's how many people that you're out there talking to kneecap to kneecap. I have some people in my business that a lot of times they want to sit around and make a plan, right? And so you have to know that everything that you're trying to do on a daily basis so that you can get kneecap to kneecap with somebody and show them how awesome this company is. So I went to work, right? 4 by 10, that was my focus, right? And when you talk about focus, a lot of you guys, I've always said this before, Primerica, right? It's the worst business to think about, right? Because if you're thinking about it, it's the worst thing to do because it drives you crazy. Oh, man, I should call this person. Oh, but you know what? It's a little bit late. I'll call him after dinner. Oh, shoot, it's already 9. I'll call him tomorrow. Oh, well, you know what? I'll call him during lunch. And you never call him, so you're thinking about it 24/7, and it drives you crazy. But if you focus for a little bit and got the job done, then you can get the results that you're looking for. It says, so know where you are, know where you want to be, right? Create a plan of action and work that plan of action all the time, right? What am I doing on a daily basis, right? Track the number of people that you're talking to or calling, right? I'm a fanatic about getting on the phone, and I'm like, okay, I make phone call after phone call after phone call. Now, do I talk to everybody? No, I don't talk to everybody, right? But, man, I'm constantly just putting myself out there, and then you get that one person that when you call them, they said, I was just thinking about you. You were? Well, shoot, I was thinking about you too, right? I said, and I was thinking about the other 85 people that I called right before you, right? And so they tell you that stuff. And I was thinking about getting my insurance again, blah, 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 right? So 100 calls, right? That's key right there. When was the last time you've done that? When was the last time that you sat in a room and made 100 calls? See, you're not going to talk to, I'm not saying you have to talk to 100 people, but if you made 100 calls, right, I would bet you that at least 20 people would pick up the phone for you. And out of those 20, 10 of them will set up an appointment for you, right? And then from there, you just keep on going and keep on going. So get creative, right? There's no substitute for creativity, right? Just get out there and put yourself out there, and I promise you, you can't, it hasn't happened to me yet. I've tried it, where I just stay home, right, and I don't do nothing. No one's ever come to my house and like, hey, I want to join Primerica. No, that hasn't happened yet, right? I wish it would, but it doesn't. So contact old clients. Why? Right? Because you could ask them for help. I'm constantly asking my clients for help. Hey, Vince, I've been helping you for however many years, right? And in order for me to keep my business going, obviously you want me to be your agent, correct, Vince? Yeah, so you know what? Can you help me out with a couple people that you might know so that I could help them the way I helped you? That way you're not so selfish, right? I'm just kidding, right? Right, but hey, if you have a good relationship with your clients, right, then you become friends with them, and friends will help friends, right? Of course, you're supposed to service your clients, so call them, right? Why aren't they investing the difference, right? If you've sat with them and you've only sold them life insurance, you gotta get somebody in there again and give them the second part. See, we're getting old in the business now, where we sold people life insurance back in the day and they didn't do the invested difference, right? They're not too happy. Get referrals, right? I'm really good about doing this at parties and bar mitzvahs. No, I mean parties and talking to people. I said, hey, Susie, I never got your sister's number, right? Yeah, give it to me. No, give it to me right now, right? Right, you gotta assume that they're willing to help you, right? Because everybody in this room is a helper, right? When somebody calls you to move them on the second floor of that crappy apartment in Hawthorne, you help them move, right? So give people the opportunity to help you too, right? Right. Of course, the company's rates are lower today. That's one of the things I tell them, especially if I wrote them up years ago, right? Reconnect and keep the relationship going, right? Of course, take pride in what you do. Focus, 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 right? How good is a magnifying glass if you just go like that all day long with it? It's just a glass and somebody looking stupid going like that all day long, right? But the only way a magnifying glass works is if you hold it there, right? And hold it there and hold it there, and before you know it, that thing will start to burn, right? Of course, don't get too high, don't get too low, right? Hey, there's going to be ups and downs in this business. You guys have known me for many, many years. You don't know if I'm up or you don't know if I'm down, right? You just know, hey, there's Flavio, right? That's the way he is. He's always like that, right? And for you, right, you got to fix your face. Fix your face right now, right? If you're excited, tell your face, I'm excited, right? And so, of course, don't get too high, don't get too low. Take your vitamins, please. Take your vitamins, right? You're going to need this thing, right? Of course, eat right, exercise, get some sleep, keep your energy high, drink a lot of water, and the most of all, you got to have fun. The only reason that we stayed in this business was because it was fun for us, right? I mean, I remember going on the cruise with Vince, right, and Alex and Mercy, right, and we had Mario Arizon on the boat with us. He was a brand new guy, right? We know all those people, right? And it's exciting because that's what kept us in the business. You have to become part of the business. That's the fun side of the business. This is not your typical 9-to-5 job where you hate the person you sit next to. Right? This is a business where, man, you have nothing but a great time. And of course, winning is worth it, right? What's your why? My team is my why right now, right? I already done everything that I was supposed to do for my kids. Got them to college, got them a nice house, all that good stuff, right? It's all about what I could do for my team at this point, right? How can I help Vince and Ashley get them to 200,000? Well, if I got to talk crap to his team, I'll talk crap to his team, right? Because I love them so much.
Quick little story. A lot of people don't know that we really haven't shared real quick. There's a day in our business, just a few years ago, a day that Vince and I will never forget. A day that I'm not sure if anybody else in the room has ever gone through this, but we got ready for op night. We were all excited. We got the music ready. We were dressed up. We were ready to just get it popping at our office. We had a little bit of a team. We were building in Fresno. We had some guests that were supposed to show up, and guess what happened? Nobody showed up. It was just me and Vince, just looking at each other. 7:30, still nobody came through the door, okay? We had an empty op room. We had nobody there, it was just me and him. And that day I'll never forget because the look on my husband's face, I could just tell, like, it was devastating. That is a hard time you go through in your business. And we decided and made a commitment that night that will never, ever, ever happen again, right? We have to get with it, we have to work. If this business is gonna work, you gotta get to work, okay? So we made a commitment that we were gonna stop having more of a selling mind frame and redirect our focus and be committed to building codes, building our organization, getting huge, right? And so if just because of that one night, right, it did change our life because we had a defining moment. And we've gone from having 0 in our op night to, I don't know if the picture comes up, but it's kind of dark, but that's our op night now. We average about 50 to 55, 60 people. I just wanted to give everybody hope, okay? The whole goal is here, you gotta focus and you gotta commit to win. You gotta commit to building, not just selling, because the sale will come, the money will come, but focus on building your organization and everything will come through.
One of the things we always say in Primerica is copycats are millionaires and originals are worthless. So we're gonna see how fast these guys are gonna get to RVP based on their ability to copy. Okay, so the way we're gonna do it, we're going to start at the end with Hansel. Okay, so we're going to throw on some music, and Hansel's going to put together a dance move that's going to shock everybody in this room. And then Steven's got to copy that dance move and create one of his own. And then Russ has got to copy both those dance moves and create one of his own.
Raise your hand if you want to be a part of a winning team, a championship, right? I think it's a human need that everybody wants to be a part of a winning team, right? When you see teams come up and you're like, wow, I wish I could be a part of that team, right? And the only way that you can be a part of a winning championship is that it starts with you. You got to be the team player, right? Anyone play sports? Right? I mean, you know how it is, right? You got to be that player that steps up, right? So, what is a team? So our founder, right, Art Williams says, a team is every player working together with one heartbeat, right? One focus, one goal, right? When you see teams winning, every single player is on the same page, right? Because together, everyone achieves more. Do you guys agree? Yeah. Right? You see Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, Michael Jordan, all these influential people. The reason why they're so influential, it wasn't just because of them. It's because they had a team. They had a team to push them to play so that they can win, right? Eventually achieve their goal. You see influential people like Mike Sharp, right? Like Hector Lamarck, like Daniel and Karma Alonzo, right? They realized they can't do it by themselves. They have to have a team. So that's the first thing, is you got to realize that it ain't all about you. It has to be about the team, right? So why build a team? So, when you start Primerica, you have two choices. Either you can be a salesperson or you can be a builder, right? Salespeople, you're only as good as your last sale. Isn't that true? Yes. Right? Whereas building is long-term, right? So building a team is the only way to build wealth that lasts long when you're gone. So what's the difference, right? A salesperson, they have limited income. Whereas a builder, they have unlimited income. Because you can recruit as many people as you want. You can, open as many offices as you want. When people tell me, I'm not interested in recruiting people, I think that's the stupidest thing. Because how is it that you can work and work and work forever, right? Eventually you're going to get tired. You're going to get sick of it. You're not going to make any money. Whereas if you build a team, you will make money with or without you there. Does that make sense? Yes. Right? When a salesperson, they have uncertainty. Right? Whereas a builder, they have security. When you have a team, when you have 100 codes, like Daniel said, right? When you have 1,000 codes, right, you got security. Isn't that true? A salesperson, it's going to take you years to achieve your goal. Maybe some of you guys have goals in here. It's going to take you a while to achieve it if you're all by yourself. But if you're a builder, you can get to your goals a whole lot quicker, right? And as salespeople, if you do get to your goals, yay, you win. Good job, right? But a builder, everybody wins. Bernard asked me before, my awesome partner, he said, babe, how much you want to make here in this business? What's your ultimate goal? And I told him, well, I want to make about $500,000. That's good enough, I think, for us. Right? And he's like, for us? Because, $500,000, I mean, we're already at 200,000. Maybe we help a couple more people make 100,000, we'd be at $500,000, right? But your team, your vision, your goal has to be big enough to fit your team. Because I know in our office, we have way more than 2 people who want to make over 100,000, right? Anybody, right? Right? So I'm like, you're right, babe. We need to make $1 million. Right? And I let my humbleness stop me from thinking big, but I realized for us to make $1 million, we got to help 10 people in our office make over 100,000, right? So you got to think big. You got to think where you can fit everybody around you, because it's as easy as it is, right? 1 person equals 1 sale equals 700 in premium, right? Whereas you have 1,000 people doing 1 sale, that's over 700,000 in premium, right? Isn't that a simple A or B concept, right? So look, how do you be a better player? Number 1, you got to be the catalyst. You got to be the person that the team can depend on, that lifts up and says, I'm going to lead from the front, right? Winning teams have players who make things happen. Catalysts are get it done and then some, right? There are 3 kinds of players on a team. Number 1, people who don't want the ball and they don't want the pressure. Number 2, people who want the ball but they shouldn't have the ball. And number 3, people that have the ball and should have the ball and gets it done, right? So look, what are characteristics of a catalyst? Somebody that's intuitive, communicative, passionate, creative. They take initiative. They're responsible. The greatest example of a catalyst in our team is Cape Crusaders, Mark and Jane Buffard. They were the catalyst. They stepped it up, right? They always figure out a way for them to make sure that they lead from the front so the rest of their team follows, right? They were our first RVPs, and now they've broken that wall, and it proves that anybody else in in Vegas can be an RVP too. Does that make sense, right? So ask yourself, are you the catalyst? Number 2, are you dependable? Teammates must be able to count on each other when it counts, right? When the coach calls the play, are you the one to say, hey, I'll step up, I'll do it, right? Are you the one that says, hey, no matter what it takes, even if someone doesn't get it done, I need to step up and get it done, right? The greatest compliment you can receive is being counted on. Ask yourself, is your integrity unquestionable? If you perform work with excellence, if you dedicate to the team's success, the greatest examples of people being dependable is visionaries in our team, right? Team visionaries, man. Michelle, she's so dedicated to helping her team win, dependable. Every time we need help from her, she's up there. Jerome, helping with the licensing, right? I mean, they are dependable, even when times are down, right? You can be dependable when times are up, but as soon as times are down, people run. Right? Are you dependable even when things don't go your way? Number 3, how to be a better team player. You got to know your team identity. You got to know what you stand for. You got to know what you're fighting for. You have to know what your values are, right? In our office, we have, philosophy of helping people. It's not all about the money, right? It's not all about, all the bling bling. It's about going out there and making a difference, right? Shared values define the team. Shared values keep the team together like glue. Right? You fight together, and if you don't have people fighting for you on your team, maybe your values aren't clear enough, right? Because I know in our office, every single one of them is a crusader. They're not here just for the money. They're here because they want to make a difference, right? Having that foundation, right? Making sure that they all follow that same goal. Being a ruler for the team, having standards. Do you know as a team player what the standards are for your team, right? What the records are to beat on your team, right? Because you can't be the weakest link. Right? A compass, a magnet, identity, you got to know what you stand for. And a greatest example of knowing what they stand for is Team Castillo victory, man. Janet Castillo, she leads from the front. She had a horrible accident, life-threatening. No matter what, she got back up and she still went and fight to win, right? And what's so awesome with her is because she knows her identity, she knows what she believes in. She knows that people need life insurance, especially after that accident, right? She recruited Mylene Victory Dionio, right? And the rest of them, right? And the rest of her team, right? Because who you are attracts that, you are who you attract. Does that make sense, right? And she attracts those type of people. Ask yourself, are you doing that for your team? Number 4, invest in your team. The time, money, and effort required to develop team leaders won't change overnight. Are you investing in your team? Do you build relationships with your team? I know it takes some time. For me, I'm naturally introverted. I was really scared to talk to people, so building a relationship to me was scary. But I knew I couldn't win alone, right? Are you investing in your team? Are you giving credit to your team? It's not about I, it's about we, right? Do you stop investing your time with people that are wasting your time? That's another thing. You can invest your time, but don't waste your time investing in the wrong people. Are you creating new opportunities for your team? Are you giving the best possible chance for your team to win? The greatest example of people that invest in their team is team resilience, right? Tony and Rezi Pamintel, I've seen them grow in the business, and they've learned that it's not about I, it's about we. They're building relationships now. They're building their team. They're really investing not money, but their heart into these families, right? Are you doing that to yours? And then the last is be a better leader, right? The players determine the potential. The vision determines the direction. Work ethic determines preparation, but leadership determines the success of the team. Are you striving to be a better leader, right? Are you growing? Are you pushing people up? Are you empowering people? Are you creating the momentum? Are you producing new leaders? Right? Are you selling the vision to your team? Do you give up your own personal, time to be able to invest in somebody else? With us, when people have when people on our team have appointments, we have our own personal. I put everything aside. I sacrifice for my team. Do they see you sacrificing for them? Because when you're sacrificing for them, they're gonna fight for you. Right? They see the hard effort, the everything that you're pouring into them, and they're going to give it back to you 10 times more. Right? Are you building a legacy? Because that's what better leaders do. So ask yourself, are you a team player? Right? Ask yourself, am I doing these things to be able to build a championship team? This is our awesome championship team, right? I'm so proud of them. Right? We all are a team working together, one big family, right? And I don't know about you, but there's a lot of things that I know that I should have done this year, right, that we need to do now. Don't have any regrets. Bernard's uncle passed away, and there were 2 children that were that had a eulogy. One of them had all the, happy memories, no regrets, and the other one was crying because she didn't hug her dad the one last time. She didn't do the thing she wanted to do with her parents the one last time. And for me and Bernard, that opened up our eyes, like, wow. Time is like that. People pass away just like that, right? Are you going to build that championship team now? Stand up if you want to build that championship team. Stand up, guys, right? So if you want to build that championship team, you be the team player. You make this thing happen, and we'll see you guys at the top. Thank you.
You have to understand, our business is about keeping the pipeline full. That is your pipeline. That is your business. And if you want to keep that full, you got to do a lot of different things, right? Prospecting. You got to do recruiting. You got to steam people. You got to get your contact list done, get referrals, group presentations, all of those things, right? Because all of those things will lead to results and get you promoted and have you make some money. Is that true? Right? So you got to keep this pipeline full. And one of the ways that you can keep doing that would be to use the beneficiary contact. So let's go about doing this, right? So let's set up the stage. Let's say you get on the kitchen table in front of a couple, right? And now you got business done. You got the presentation done. They like what they see. And now they're going into the application process for the life insurance, all right? So now after completing the life app, so you thank them for taking care of their family with income protection. And now you say this, right? The biggest challenge that we have in the insurance industry is that death benefits don't get paid. And they don't get paid because the beneficiaries never knew about a policy, right? So they never knew who the company is. They didn't even know how to file the claim properly. Is that true? Yes. This is all true. You're not making this up, right? Okay, so what we need you to do is to sign this beneficiary form that we're going to deliver to your brother, let's say, right? And then outside of that, if we can't reach your mom or your brother, we need 3 emergency contacts to help us get this claim process. So you're getting 2 types of contacts, right? Beneficiaries, contingents, and also emergency contact. All right, so now you got that done. You got the list, right? And they signed the form. There's a form that you need to be prepared with, right? So you put that out, and then they sign it. All right, so now here's what you say, right? have the client call the primary and the contacts, basically, right? Have them call that. Who calls them? They do, all right? So here's the client. Let's say that's Mary. Hi, Bill, and that's the brother, right? Hi, Bill, I just took a life insurance policy, and I need you to talk to my agent. That's as simple as that, right? She hands you the phone, right? An agent, and you say, hello, and whatever your name is, right? I'm Alfie, right? Your sister took a life insurance policy with us and made you one of the contingent beneficiaries. The biggest challenge that we have in the insurance industry is that death benefits don't get paid, and they don't get paid because the beneficiaries never knew about the policy. It's all the same thing, right? So what we're doing is we're delivering a beneficiary form so you can understand how to file a claim in the event that, God forbid, something was to happen to her, your sister, right? So what's your address, right? And what do? I will be in your area, and what do? You book the appointment. Book the appointment. They will not say no to you because they understand they're doing something for their family, right? They will not say no to you, right? So you do that, right? Now, for the emergency contact, you also take care of that. The client calls up a friend. Hi, Sue, I just took a life insurance policy, and I need you to talk to my agent. Same thing, right? Agent says, you say, hello, Sue, and your friend took a life insurance policy, da-da-da. Same thing. But here's where it's different, right? That we have in the insurance industry, death benefits don't get paid. They don't get paid because there are times when the beneficiaries could not be reached. So what we're doing is we're delivering an emergency contact form to you so you can help us reach the beneficiaries for the claim to be filed properly, right? What's your address? And what do? You book the appointment. I'm on my way. That's in my area. Tonight, if you're free, I can come by. It'll only take me 15 minutes, right? Simple as that. Now, is there, so when you go deliver, right, so here's the whole process, right? When you go deliver that form, you go over the process of filing a claim if it's for the contingents, right? And go over the form with your contact information. That's all it is, right? And this is where you now transition into looking after their own family, right? So the reason why your sister got a life insurance policy is because she wanted to make sure her family continues to receive her income in case something happened to her. By the way, who takes care of your income replacement, right? So it's either a yes or a no. Whatever the answer is, you say this. Let me share with you what I shared with your sister and why she thought it was important to get an income replacement plan. That's pretty good close, right? Right. So you can get business done every day, right? Never run out of people to see, right?
Partnership in Primerica is two people building one Primerica business. Doesn't matter if you're married, not married, mother and son, father and daughter, brother and sister, I don't care. Two people over 18, let me put that there, building one Primerica business. So right when you get started with Primerica, there's one thing you need to do. Is you need to go on POL, and there's a tab on there called Partnership. You're going to click on the Partnership tab, and there's a form called the PEP, P-E-P, Partnership Empowerment Program. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on there if you haven't done it yet, and you link your names together. So when we do recognition, we call both names, not just one, because we want to recognize both people. And then once you do that on POL, Primerica is going to recognize you. So two people are going to get to go to Disney World. Two people are going to get to go wherever the next trip is. They're also going to recognize you on the leaders board. They're going to recognize you on competition. They're going to recognize you on trophies and plaques. So you want to make sure you go on there and make sure you do that today. Link your names together. They're also going to recognize you when you get your watch together, 2 watches. They're going to recognize you when you get your rings together, 2 rings. If you don't link your names, you get 1. Someone's going to be upset, right? Link your names. So when you get the Wall of Fame, you both get to be in the picture. Okay, so make sure you go up there and do that. Now, you're in Primerica, you signed up, you're in the PEP program, everybody recognizes you as your partnership. What do you do? So the first thing you want to do is identify your strengths and determine your roles. Very important. You need to figure out who's going to be doing the recruiting, who's going to be doing the field training, who's going to train the office on how to fill out paperwork correctly, right? Who's going to be doing the administration, Who's going to be managing the home front? Who's picking up kids from school? Who's paying the bills? Who's building the team? Who's selling the dream? You have to figure this out at the beginning. Trust me, save time, do it at the beginning. Trust me on this one, right, guys? Number 2, you need to fill out your personal goals and dreams in your partnership. So, what is your single specific purpose for doing Primerica? And you might have different answers, and that's okay, but you need to know what they are, and you need to share them with each other. You need to know, what are your dreams? Everybody has dreams, and if you don't know what your dreams are, if I told you just won $50 million in the lottery, you're going to have a lot of dreams right away. Like, all these kind of things are going to come out of your head, right? So you have dreams. Maybe you're just afraid to admit them. Okay, so what are your dreams? What are your dreams in your personal life and your business life? So there's different goals on both. What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? What are you saving for? You know, do you want to send your kids to school? Do you want to buy your kids houses? Maybe let's dream a little bit bigger, right? What can you do for other people? What kind of charities can you help? What can you do for your church? What can you do? What can you volunteer and help with? If you had the time and the money to do it, what would you be doing? You need to know those things. And then you need to ask yourself, what are the top 5 things we can do right now to build our Primerica business? This is a conversation you need to have, and you probably need to have it every month because it changes every month. There's a new contest. You might need to do 5 different things than you're doing the month before. So make sure you write these down and go over them with each other. Go to Starbucks, have a coffee, and then make the list. You know, what can we do? How can we do it? Because let me tell you this, guys. Your partner can be your best recruit or your worst recruit. Your partner can get you to Wall of Fame, $1 million earner, or your partner can make you quit the business and you never reach your dreams and goals. I've seen it happen. And, you know, because I know I am Daniel's best recruit. I know if we need to hit some numbers, I'm the one at the last minute who's going to make it happen. It's like I've done it tons of times. So you want to make sure, you know, what can I do to help? How can I help? And I think it was really important or really inspiring that Jennifer said today, I come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to all the trainings. She knows what's going on in the business. She knows when I say CRM, she knows what that means, right? And if you don't know what that means you're not going to training. You don't know what the CRM is, right? So educate yourself. I'm the best recruit now for Daniel, but I wasn't the best recruit in the beginning. So I want to tell you guys, don't waste time. If I could tell you partners out there, like biggest piece of advice is don't waste time. Don't wait for your agent to have success because most of the time it's the partner. When they join, that's when the success starts happening. Before me, Daniel made $14,000 in 1 year. When I got on board, he went to 50. Then the next year was 100. Then the next year was more than that. So do not wait. Plug in right away and see how you can get it going. And I want to end with this, guys. This is how to have a great partnership. Number 1, match the effort. Match each other's effort. Don't let one person pull all the weight and you're kind of like the anchor. Don't do that. Match the effort. Respect their hustle. If they're out there working and they're grinding and they're getting things done, respect that. Don't be mad if they have to leave wherever you are to go on an appointment. Appointments make you money. Appointments build your team and grow your business, right? So you got to respect the hustle. Support their ambition. If you have an ambitious partner, you're lucky. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has somebody who wants more out of their life. Number 4, protect their heart. Guard that. Keep them away from people that are damaging, and you know what I'm talking about. Value their loyalty. They're working hard because they're working hard for you and your family. Nobody else, just you. Respect the loyalty. Uplift their spirit. If they do something good, congratulate them. Be proud of them. If they do something not so good, uplift their spirit. Everybody makes mistakes, right? You know, we don't want to get beat up at home. If we got beat up out in the field or at work that day, you don't want to come home and get beat up. Because I know, like, if I do something stupid, I know I did something stupid. I don't want to get beat up about it again. Like, I know, okay? I screwed up. I know. I don't need to hear it again, right? I think everybody feels like that. But if you have a partner that's like, okay, babe, it's all right. Next time you're going to get it, or you're going to close the sale. Next time we'll get the recruit next time. You want to go do it again. You want to try again. And I think the same thing goes for our kids. You know, if your kids screw up, everybody screws up. Don't beat them up more about it. Encourage them to want to try to do it again. And we need to do that with our partners. And the last thing is you need to love them unconditionally. Just love your partner. You know, that is the thing that I can tell you in this business that I respect the most. People that stay married and have long marriages, long-lasting marriages, that's so inspiring to me because it's not easy in this world to stay married the whole time. How many people do we know that are divorced, right? So I respect that, you know, and you need to love your partner and you need to stick with them and you need to stick with them until you guys get it going and you get to where you want to go. So I wanted to share with you guys that on partnership, and today I get to bring up my partner. Listen, guys, if it wasn't for Daniel, none of us would be here. And in the beginning, when I wasn't positive and I didn't want to do this, We had a really tough conversation. He locked me in the car with the automatic locks. He wouldn't let me out of the car until that conversation was done. And I hate arguing in the car. I hate when you can't unlock it, all right? You got to sit there and finish it. But he told me, I'm going to do this with you or without you, and you need to decide what you're going to do. And I'm so glad that he's tough like that with me, because I needed that door locked, and I needed to make a decision to move our business forward. And that's when everything changed. So if you need to lock your spouse in the car today to figure it out, I give you permission, okay? It works.
This is a leadership business, right or right? And we are about building leaders and changing lives. It's about equipping people, right? You have one chance to make a good impression. So when you recruit somebody, when you prospect somebody, you better make a good impression. So why you got to wake up and look good in the morning, right? So some of you got to work harder at it than others, but you got to look good when you leave the house. Okay, you got to comb your hair and brush your teeth every day. Okay, you got to put on this thing, it's called deodorant. Okay? Because you have one chance to make a first impression. And you got to make sure that when you walk out that door, you feel like an RVP, you look like an RVP, you feel great, you're excited, right? You got a smile on your face, man. People just know you're coming, right? They're either saying they're in Primerica or they're on drugs, right? Those are two things they're thinking. And hopefully they say, he's in Primerica. All right, but you want people to look at you like, man, this guy's coming. This gal's are coming. They're excited about something. I don't know what they're excited about, but I want to be a part of that. Right? Look, I want to be a part of Johan and Alexandra's team, man. I mean, they post this stuff on Instagram and Facebook and all. Man, they just always look good and happy. They're having fun. They're living a great life. Right? See, I want that life. I want a little part of that. Right? You guys with me here? See, that's the difference, man. They're happy. They're going someplace. That's the way you got to feel, and that's the impression that you want to, put out there. And then think about it, right? Think about duplicating the process. You got to duplicate it. Once you get that process, once you get it down for you, then you got to duplicate it. We sold out to duplicating a process. We went RVP in 1999. Right? We had 20 directs. That's all we did. We did 20 directs. Think about what I did on how to get somebody off to a fast start. Okay, how we were able to do that. And just from 20 directs, okay, we wrote 100, we averaged over, we wrote 110 cases. From 20 directs, 110 cases that year. Right? We made over $100,000. 2000. I was even that much more excited, man. I wanted to be consistent, because you think you got to be, if you want to be a great leader, do you got to be consistent? Yeah. Or do you got to be all starting and stopping all the time? You got to be consistent. You got to be a rock, man. People got to look at you and they're like, I know if I show up on Tuesday night, they'll be there. I know if I show up on Saturday morning, they'll be there. You got to be that rock, man. Everybody knows you're going to be there. You're going to be on time, all right? That's important. But everybody knows that you're in. Everybody knows you're excited. Everybody knows that you're after it. That is the difference maker. And then we just from those 41 directs, we ended up doing 138 sales that year. Okay, so ask yourself, are you recruiting to recruit, or are you recruiting to build? See, when I got those people out in the field training them, I was recruiting to build. I was building leaders. I was duplicating my process. I was duplicating those efforts so other people knew how to do them. Does that make more sense than me just to recruit a guy and never see him again? I made sure they got down to the meetings, made sure they got down here to Saturday training. I made sure that everything that I was doing, I was duplicating that process. You guys with me? The next year in 2000, and by the way, we made $170,000 that year. The next year, 2001, I recruited another 35 directs. Okay? And I know some of you can do way better than that. But see, this is the key. I was consistent. It was month after month after month. We recruited directs month after month. We didn't go 1 month, we recruited 10, and the next month we recruited 3, right? We went, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, right? Every single month. We didn't stop. We made $250,000 that year. The next year, 2002, I recruited another 25 directs. We made $350,000. I wrote 122 sales. 2003, we ended up doing 83 sales, 30 directs, and we made almost $500,000 that year. So nice little run, yeah? Anybody? Yeah. And you want to know the best part? We saved $1 million, Johan, right? We saved $1 million. We were financially independent. We were free. Do you want to get free? Yeah. Isn't it time that you and your family start winning? Yeah. And you got to get consistent. You got to duplicate that process and get consistent, because that's going to make all the difference. So let's talk about a couple fundamentals before I get you guys out of here. Number one, you need to work with motivated people. I think Grace talked about this. Stop wasting your time with people that are wasting your time. Spend time with people that show up. If they ain't showing up, I ain't spending time with them. I only have 24 hours in a day. I got to make sure that I use those hours with people that are committed, that want to get better and want to change their lives with me. Because I can't have a bunch of, drama and people like holding me back, right? I want our people in our business to be the wind in my sails, right? I don't need another backpack full of boulders, right? That's not fun. Okay? I need people that are trying to push me up instead of trying to pull me down with negativity. Number two, you need to be a great example. Talked about that, right? 3 to 4 directs a month, 12 personal sales every single month, George. Right? After it, man. Consistent. After it every month. Number three, do what you say you're going to do. Be a person of your word. Is that fair enough? Okay? Number four, constantly talk about getting results. This is a results-oriented business. Get results and then talk about your results. When you write a sale, when you get a recruit, when you get a new code number, teach somebody how you did it. Don't keep it to yourself, right? Tell somebody. Get on the phone, Russ. Call your best guy. Say, look, I just wrote a sale, and this is the objection that I got. So let me tell you about it and what happened, how I met the guy, how I prospected, how I followed up with him, how he put me off 3 times, but I persisted and I didn't give up. I got the sale, right? But he gave me this objection. This is how I overcame it. And then after that, wrote the business, got him recruited, got him practicing what he's preaching. And then what I did right away is we booked 4 to 5 appointments before I left that house, man. I got them off to a fast start. You got to get people in and licensed. In and licensed. The quicker you do it, the better example you will show. And of course, if you have a good, right, if you have a good example of how you did it in 30 days, you got all your training appointments, you wrote a lot of sales, got a lot of everything, right? Then your people are going to come in. They're going to be inspired by that, because this is an inspiration what? Business. All right, so they're going to be inspired by it, so they're going to want to do the same thing. And then you're going to repeat that process until you get financially independent. Always create new heroes in the office. Got to get them going fast. Number 7, have a big vision. You got to have a vision so big that it's got to be able to include other people. If you got 50, 60 people showing up and all you're talking about is we're going to do 30 grand, no, that vision's not big enough. 100 grand out of 55, 60 people showing up to the base shop, man. 100,000 is what you should be talking about. They shouldn't ever hear you say, because why? Because you got a lot of people in the base that could do 5 or 10,000 in production. Which you add all that up real fast, you're over 100,000. So you got to make sure your vision is so big that everybody can fit inside of that vision. And then you as the leader got to make sure that you lead it and show, just like I talked about, show everybody how to do it. The best way to teach, by the way, is actually do it first and then teach it. Because then there's more credibility behind. That's why I talk about your story so critical, right? If you have a great story and you built a business and you became financially better, then you could talk about that for as long as you live in Primerica. Yes or yes? All right? Make sure Number 8, focus on people 6 months or less in the business and find people with a sports background. Right? You're looking and trying to identify everybody. You want to give everybody a shot. You never want to discriminate against anybody. But you got to be smart about this. If somebody's competitive and they come in Primerica, is there a better chance that they might be able to make it? Yes or yes? Yes. Right? There's a very good likelihood that they could become more successful because they're competitive. Okay? So you got to make sure you find those competitive people, but they got to be good people too. Right? You got to find people that, man, they got a heart. They care about other people. They want to, and by the way, I learned this from Ronnie Barnes. He said, man, don't just think about the money all the time. It's not everybody's goal is to be a millionaire their first week in the business. When you're looking them in the eye, you got to find out what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and then you got to do everything in your power to help them get that. Yes or yes, huh? All right, number 9, big meeting attendance. Everything is geared off of meeting attendance. Of course, your partnership drives that meeting attendance. What a great way to double your meeting attendance. Get all the partners there to come. That's double the people. Number 10, training meetings strictly on how to close. You know, how to set up appointments, how to recruit, get somebody off to a fast start. Making sure that you're always teaching the fundamentals of the business. Always learning and teaching the fundamentals of the business. Number 11, new recruit meeting. We do on Saturday trainings. Number 12, consistently tell people what you're doing and how you did it. Last but not least is a couple reminders. We build people here. Yes or yes? Yes. Right? Build relationships. Build real relationships based on a real foundation of love and caring about that person. Go to lunch. Go out after op night. Go out after Saturday training. Spend time. That time is the glue that creates that bond that keeps people around. See, if they don't like you, they quit on you. If they love you, they stay. Right or right? Right. Okay, build team leaders, build RVPs. Sales are automatic. You got to compete like crazy. You got to have fun. And ultimately, we got a dream life waiting for you. Let me tell you something before I let you go. This is the real reason why I led from the front. And I sold out to being a leader. Because leadership is everything. Leadership is everything. Leaders, you got to not only become a leader, but you got to build leaders. And you got to have a do-it-now attitude. And let me tell you something. Art Williams, man, he personally led from the front. Yes or yes? Yes. Hector Lamarck, he led from the front. Yes or yes? Rick Suzy led from the front. Yes or yes? He did lots of directs. He did lots of personal premium. Right or right? Right. That's how he found great people. Chris Howard, $1 million earner. He led from the front for years and years and years. I'm not talking about forever. You ain't got to do it forever. You ain't got to kill it forever. You just got to put in a few good years. You give it everything you got. You pay the price. You pay that nasty price, man. You go after it. You do what you know is hard, but you keep after it and you never give up. You know, Mark Rolls and Daniel Alonzo, Neil Gerfine and Mario Munoz and Omar Oropesa and Frank Dillon. Right? These are some of the people that led from the front year after year after year. And I'm challenging you leaders today to decide, make that decision that today's going to be the day. That you're going to be that leader that everybody wants to follow. You're going to build that story that's going to be inspiring to people all over Primerica and all over your future teams. Because people are looking for leadership, aren't they? People want leadership, right? People want something to follow. People want something to fall in love with. People want something that's going to grab their heart and make them feel great and want to go do something different with their life. The dream is alive and well right now. It's real. Primerica is real. Primerica is right. Primerica is good. It's time we change our lives forever. Let's dream bigger than ever, but let's do it now. Do it, guys. Love you guys.